Hey, how's it going? It is your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward. And in today's video, I want to discuss the topic of intermittent fasting and cover some of the pros and cons, when it can be used and when it shouldn't be used, and just kind of discuss the whole topic because there's a lot of confusion around intermittent fasting. And this is something that several of my personal coaching students have reached out to me about. So I want to just make a video talking about the topic right here. Intermittent fasting, for those of you who are wondering what the heck it is, it's just a time-restricted form of eating. And there's all kinds of different ways of going about it, but generally speaking, it means you'll go for the majority of the day without eating anything, and then you will have a period of the day when you have a feeding window. So a common intermittent fasting scheme could be 16 hours of fasting followed by an 8-hour feeding window. It might even be a more restrictive window. It might be 20 hours of fasting and a 4-hour feeding window, or anything in between. Like sometimes people will have 2 or 3 meals within a condensed window. Sometimes people will go to as little as 1 meal a day. And in some more extreme versions of intermittent fasting, people will even do like every other day. And obviously it works for losing weight. Anytime you create a massive calorie deficit, however you do it, whether it's just simply by not eating or eating less per meal, you're going to create a calorie deficit, and thus it's going to help with weight loss. However, there's a big difference between weight loss and fat loss, because when you just stop eating, yeah, you create a massive calorie deficit, but you can burn body fat, you can lose lean muscle, and your strength and athletic performance very often suffers in the process. And that is one of the drawbacks with intermittent fasting. I mean, yes, it is a surefire way to lose weight. If you just stop eating, guaranteed you're going to lose weight. That works. It absolutely works. However, is that something that you can sustain as a lifestyle? And is it something that is conducive to your overall health and fitness goals? Because a lot of people, they're chasing a smaller number on the scale, but is that ultimately what you want? Do you want to be able to have good strength and stamina and athletic performance, or do you just want to be as skinny as possible? Like, that's what you have to ask yourself, because intermittent fasting can certainly help you to lose weight, but it's not conducive to maximizing athletic performance in all cases. I just want to kind of share a bit of experience that I've had with it, because I have used intermittent fasting, and when I did it initially, it did help me to drop weight. I will say that. So when I was starting off my fat loss journey, like this was part of my muscle after 40, get back in shape transformation, I did start intermittent fasting initially, and it helped me to kind of kickstart the process along. But that progress was short-lived, because what I found happened is initially, just by having the willpower to not eat frequently throughout the day, it drastically cut down my calories. But what ended up happening is then I was increasing my caloric intake during my feeding window. And I was doing this subconsciously. It wasn't a conscious decision, but it was a subconscious decision. Because what would happen is, like, I would go all day without eating anything, and then by the time I did get to my feeding window and start eating, it was like opening up the floodgates. My appetite was ferocious, and I just couldn't control it. So I would start eating way too much, and ultimately what ended up happening is I would no longer be in a calorie deficit. Now, I didn't necessarily gain weight from intermittent fasting, but my fat loss or weight loss plateaued. So I got to the point where I was just maintaining in this intermittent fasting. And I stayed like that for several months, where I was kind of in this routine where I'm not going to eat anything all day. I'm going to come home, I'm going to have dinner, and then a little bit of grazing then in the evening, and then go to bed. That's basically what I did. And I lost some weight initially, but that quickly plateaued. And another thing I found was my exercise performance and my strength in the gym and all that didn't improve. I quickly got to a plateau, and there was a good reason for that, is because when we look at nutrition, especially bodybuilding nutrition, there's a few key fundamentals that you want to have in place. One big one, of course, is you want to make sure that you're getting enough protein. And ideally, a good goal to shoot for is 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight per day. So whatever you would like to weigh, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, like take your target ideal body weight and strive to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight per day. That's a good benchmark to strive for. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Some days you'll eat a little more, some days you'll eat a little less, but as long as you're in that ballpark and you're in that ballpark consistently, that's a good range to strive for. Now, if you're only eating a couple meals a day, it's really hard to do that. So in my case, let's say my target weight is 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein, and I'm only eating twice a day. That's like literally 100 grams of protein per meal. That's a lot. And when I was intermittent fasting, I was nowhere near that much protein. So I found that I didn't gain any muscle while intermittent fasting. In fact, I actually lost muscle. And that also carried over to my strength in the gym. I found that with my workouts, I wasn't making the strength gains. I wasn't making the progress that I wanted to. Even though I had lost weight, it wasn't the best kind of weight. I ultimately went back to my old bodybuilding type of eating frequency, which is more frequent meals throughout the day, prioritizing protein, prioritizing vegetables and healthy fats, and eating those frequently throughout the day. So every 3 to 4 hours, I was having a serving of protein. And I found by doing that, it helped to increase my strength and energy. I felt better. My workouts improved. My strength and my progress in the gym went up dramatically. So when it comes to you and your goals, you really have to look at the bigger picture. What is it you're really trying to achieve here? Are you just simply trying to lose weight at all costs and you don't care about strength, muscle, athletic performance? I just want to be skinny. I don't care. I'm not interested in fitness or athletic performance. I just want to lose weight and be skinny. Intermittent fasting may be the solution. And if you enjoy it and it works for you, hey, go for it, right? Give it a try and see how it works. However, when you look at athletic performance, there's a reason why top-level athletes are not intermittent fasting. They're eating consistent meals throughout the day because they know they need to fuel the machine. Just like if you have a high-performance race car, you got to put in optimal high-performance fuel to get the maximum performance out of that car. Your body is very much the same way. If you don't put in the fuel, you're not going to get the performance. And several of my personal coaching students have done this as well. And some that I want to share, like Mike Brown, and I'll put Mike's pictures up on the screen here. Mike lost a lot of weight by doing an extreme intermittent fasting, where he was literally having one meal every other day, right? And he stuck to that for several months, lost a lot of weight, right? He achieved weight loss success, but he wasn't happy with his body composition. He wasn't happy with his strength or his athletic performance. So then we focused on a more bodybuilding style eating plan. And when I say bodybuilding, all I mean is more frequent meals, prioritizing protein, prioritizing that nutrient dense food, and actually feeding the body, nourishing the body on the cellular level, not simply trying to cut calories. So once we started nourishing his body and then following it up with a proper training program, he was able to fill out his frame with lean mass, and his weight ironically stayed the same. Like, he did not gain weight, but he gained a lot of muscle. So he improved his body composition and made an amazing transformation. And as you can see by the pictures, it's a night and day transformation. Like, the pictures you see on the screen right now, there's only a 5-pound difference between them. But when you look at the body composition, there's a lot more than just 5 pounds of muscle or 5 pounds of fat. Like, that's a massive transformation, a total body recomposition. That's what a lot of people want. They just don't want to simply lose weight or have a target number in mind, like, oh, I want to be 175 pounds regardless of what the body composition is. Most people want to be a target weight, let's just say 175 pounds, but they want to be a lean and muscular and athletic 175 pounds. You know, I want to have visible abs at 175 pounds or whatever your target number is. You know, you want to have that look as well as the athletic performance to back it up, not just simply to lose weight. So in Mike's case, getting on a more consistent eating plan, more frequent, was a huge game changer. Another one of my coaching students, Jeff Samatero, very similar situation. He tried intermittent fasting, tried some various low-carb diets and things like that in the past, and it did help him to lose weight. So again, I'm not saying that they're bad or there's no point to them. They do work in a certain situation. Like, if you just want to drop weight, yeah, they work. But if you're trying to maximize strength and athletic performance and build muscle, it's not the ideal situation. You need that frequent feeding, especially for protein, to stimulate muscle growth. And it's hard enough to meet your protein intake needs if you're eating multiple meals throughout the day. let alone if you're limiting yourself to like 1 or 2 meals a day, or in the extreme end, you're only eating every other day. Like when Mike was eating every other day, there was no way in hell he was eating a gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. Like it ain't happening. Like he wasn't even eating every day. So he was falling far short on the protein, and that was a reason why he lost so much muscle as well. So you got to look at the bigger picture. And even when it comes to your exercise performance, like right now I was having a conversation with one of my coaching students who came on board with the program recently, and he was experimenting with intermittent fasting. He says, you know, it works great for losing weight, but he says, I just don't have any energy to work out in the gym. And I said, that's why. You're literally running on empty. Like you need to fuel your body. You need quality carbohydrates for energy. You need that quality protein in there to help build and repair muscle tissue. You need the healthy fats in there so that you're providing optimal nourishment for your body on all levels. Like you need protein, you need carbs, you need fat, and you need them in the right ratios in order to get the maximum performance from your body. And if you try and run your body on subpar nutrition, it ain't going to work. Right? It's just like if you have a high performance race car, but you got watered down fuel in it or not enough fuel in it, you're not going to get maximum performance. You need to have the right fuel to get optimal performance. And I like to use the example of high performance athletes because they fuel the machine. They are eating lots of high nutrient dense foods so that they can perform their best. And that's a good strategy to focus on. Is you want to focus on feeding the body, fueling it, optimizing your strength and your athletic performance, so then you can go and train hard and then burn the body fat, right? To steal a line from Tom Venuto, who wrote a book called Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle. That's exactly what we want to do, right? We want to feed the muscle with quality nutrition, and then through hard training, we want to burn the fat. So burn the fat, feed the muscle. And intermittent fasting is not necessarily the best way to do that, in my opinion. Right? Like I say, I have tried it. I have had some success from a weight loss point of view, but it wasn't the ultimate strategy that allowed me to achieve my body composition, strength, and athletic goals. That's why I'm not a huge fan of it personally, and that's why none of my personal coaching students are following it now. We follow a more consistent eating schedule, and then having that high-quality nutrition to build muscle, fuel the workouts so that they can then train harder and build a lean, athletic, muscular physique. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and please let me know your opinions. Like, have you tried intermittent fasting? Has it worked for you? What have been some of the pros and cons from your point of view? Let me know down in the comments below. Keep that conversation going. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel, and stay tuned because I got more videos coming your way. Have yourself a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Over and out.